Welcome to Brain Info Live, for everyone in the brain health community. Brain Info Live is about hope, health, support, education, and you. Whether you're living with Alzheimer's or a caregiver, family member, or loved one of someone who is, Brain Info Live is here for everybody.
Hi, good morning. My name is Barbara Chandler, and I will be your host today. Welcome to the very first ever Brain Info Live in Florida. Give it up. Woo! This is an exciting moment here in Florida. And yes, we are actually live. Just so you know. Today, we are going to be talking about the signs of normal aging versus potential early signs of mild cognitive impairment or dementia. Because we want this to be interactive, we want you to interact with us and ask as many questions at any point in this program. We want to be able to answer you at the very end. Let us know. We're going to show you what those screens look like. When submitting a question, you're going to click the blue Ask button down to the very right side of your screen. When asking anonymously, you see it? Anonymously, you can also input your question there. The question will appear with your name at the bottom of the program, like so, and we will answer the question live. Liken a question that someone else liked. If you don't have a question here, or if we don't answer your question, we will email the answers to you. There's also the voting poll, which you'll be able to participate in, the voting and asking questions, and that answer will appear to the right of your screen. Now we want to talk about some quick housekeeping. A quick poll. We're going to do a quick poll. We're going to also bring in to you John Lewis, who is known as J. Lou, the fitness guru. He's going to do a 5-minute chair exercise with us. Then there's also Valerie R. Crespo Matos, who will talk about the early warning signs. And that presentation, again, is by Valerie R. Crespo Matos. Then we're also going to see a few movies, some videos. You'll see the movie and TV clips from Memories of Tomorrow, Grey's Anatomy, Still Alice, as well as some taped events and interviews like Memory Sunday and an interview with actor William H. Macy from Fargo and Shameless, whose father also had dementia. There will be a Q&A with myself and, of course, Dr. Cole Silver. So definitely you want to stay tuned for that. And then for closing, again, we're going to do another quick poll and repeat to see what we have learned. Ready? Let's go ahead and begin with our quick poll. You can vote at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. The poll asks, what is a sign of normal aging and not of Alzheimer's? A, asking the same question repeatedly. B, trouble calling the names of familiar people. C, not being able to think as quickly as you can when you were younger. And D, getting lost in your own neighborhood. We're going to give you a few minutes. I know for some of you, you may have it already. All right. So once again, what is the sign of normal aging and not of Alzheimer's? A, asking the same question repeatedly. B, trouble recalling the names of familiar people, could be your daughter, your son. And C, not being able to think as quickly as when you were younger. D, getting lost in your own neighborhoods. We want to get all of the votes. So we're going to give you a bit of time here. Certainly hope everyone is having a fantastic Monday. All right. The results are in. 50% went for C, and the other 50% voted for D. Those are our results. Again, we have 50-50, 50% for C, and then we have another 50% D. C is not being able to think as quickly as when you were younger, and D, getting lost in your own neighborhood. We will reveal the answer when we repeat the poll. All right, we're going to go ahead and introduce to you John Lewis, J. Lou, the fitness guru from Atlanta, Georgia. He's going to do a 5-minute chair exercise with us. We want you to, of course, be very careful when doing this exercise. Don't overdo, and we want you to go at your very own pace.
Hey, I'm Mr. J. Lou, your fitness guru. Today, I need you to get a sturdy chair, your water bottles, or you can use canned goods or anything around the house, because we're going to work on that entire body. So in 5 seconds, let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. I want to create that circulation. Just bounce. Any count. And we're saying body. Let's get ready to go. Here we go now. Now we're getting those hips. We said hips. Let's go. If you want to add that upper body in, just keep it going. Let's go bounce. Let's go wide. Here we go. Now we're about to get them hamstrings and hips. Here we go. There we go. Come on, come on. Woo! I'm feeling good right now. I hope you're feeling good. Now bounce. Feet together. And we're going to alternate going forward. Here we go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Keep it going now. If you need to take a break, take it and get back in. Now bounce. Let's go wide. We're going to do a jumping jack almost in the chair. Here we go. Come on, come on. I'm adding a little weight flying as well. Come on. Rest. There we go. You looking good. Now engage those abs and hips. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3, let's go. Can we go wide? Come on. Come on. Come on. Now rest. Woo! That was great. We worked on that cardio, but now we're going to work on that upper body. So follow me to the gym. All right. We're here. We're about to get started with our upper body routine. So grab your canned goods or your water bottles. I'm going to use my water bottles today. Shoulders. Chest big. Here we go. I want you to bring your elbows in. I call this hammer. Flip it. Underhand. Watch it. Watch it. Watch it. Press. Let's get these biceps. You ready? You ready? Let's go! Come on! There we go! Come on! Open them up! go. Okay, let's get triceps. Elbow up. Let's switch. Elbow up. Come on. 4 and 5. Great job. We just worked that entire body and body sculpting. So now we're gonna work on that flexibility. Let's get started. Legs wide, chest up. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Let's go down, up, to the right, up, left, up, hands together, flip, and out, up, and lean. Other side, good motions. Out, extend, turn, and turn. Together, in, extend, chest up, arch like a cat, chest up, arch like a cat, chest up, and release. Hey, we just finished up. I'm Mr. J. Lou, your fitness guru, and see you later, bye.
Hey Lou, the fitness guru. I hope you guys are feeling pumped and energetic. We're gonna get through the rest of this show. Thank you so much for that quick burst of energy. I feel really good. I feel limber. Up next, we have Valerie R. Crespo Matas. She is a long-term care ombudsman working in ClinCloud. She will be giving us a presentation on recognizing 10 signs of Alzheimer's disease as opposed to normal aging. Let's welcome Valerie R. Crespo Matas.
Hello, my name is Valerie R., and I am a cognitive rater for ClinCloud here in Maitland, Florida. And today we're going to review 10 possible signs of Alzheimer's disease. So, as we age, there are changes in our brain and memory. Because when we are in our 50s, 60s, and 70s, we might not be as sharp as when we are in our 20s or 30s. And that is normal. But how can we differentiate normal age-related memory changes and notice those red flags or signs that could lead us to a possible diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease? Let's look at the first bullet point: forgetting names or appointments, but remembering them later. The key here is to notice the frequency, because if it affects your day-to-day activities and routine, then we have a sign that we can't ignore. But if it's sporadic, or you just drew a blank at the moment, but were able to recall later, is an age-related change. Finance. It's okay to miss a payment. We've all missed payments in our lifetime. Now, when you have always managed your finances, and lately you notice you are struggling keeping up with your checkbook, or it is difficult for you to complete a transaction when you go visit the bank, this could be a sign. Our third bullet point: routine. Age-related changes is needing assistance with a new application on your phone, or on how to record your favorite TV show. But possible signs and red flags is not being able to enter your cell phone's PIN number or password, for example, something that you do every day. You are struggling when preparing meal for the family because you seem to miss ingredients. Our next part is orientation. Most of my patients are retired, if not all of them. And when I evaluate their orientation, all the time they tell me, Valerie, I'm retired. All the days are the same for me. Or I'm retired, my weekdays and my weekends look the same. And these are valid points, right? But regardless of you enjoying your retirement, I want you to continue being alert and aware of what day it is. For example, confusing whether it's Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, but you know you went to church on Sunday. So when I ask you what day it is, I want you to be able to recap your memories of what you did a couple days ago in order to figure out what day is today. Our fifth point, vision. When it comes to vision, yes, as we age, our vision also changes. But when it becomes a sign is when our perception also changes. For example, you are struggling with distance. Something appears to be closer than it really is. You are struggling with colors, reflections, and loss of peripheral vision, which is the side vision. These are possible signs and red flags. Our sixth point, vocabulary fluency. Having occasional trouble finding the right word, here the keyword is occasional. Trouble finding the right word or losing your line of thought during a conversation. It happens and is a typical age-related change. But when we frequently are unable to find words during a conversation, are unable to name an object that we are familiar with, use related words, for example, book instead of newspaper, or choose to describe an object because we are struggling finding the word, then that is a possible red flag or sign. Our seventh point, losing personal items such as your car or house keys, your phone, wallet, it happens. But the key part of losing these items is to be able to independently trace back to where you think you left them last. To be able to recognize that area in the house you usually place your missing item. Many of my patients tell me they start noticing they get to the kitchen and all of a sudden they forget why they were there. Don't get alarmed. If you can't figure it out right away, allow yourself to go over what activity or task you just finished doing that took you to the kitchen. So again, misplacing or losing items here and there is okay as long as you're able to trace back independently. Judgment, not being able to recognize danger from safety. Risk when driving due to poor judgment. Having no reaction if there is a leak in the house, plumbing accident, or a small fire. These are possible signs or red flags. Our ninth point is social isolation. It's okay not to always be in the mood to be around other individuals or attend family or friends gathering. Now, when we start losing participation, self-isolating ourselves from activities and just withdrawing interest and avoiding these settings, that could be a possible red flag. And our last sign is how we feel, because that is reflected in our mood and personality. Is it changing? We also need to consider our depression. Are we depressed? How severe is it? Is there something around me that is affecting my mood? Am I having abrupt aggression or becoming agitated? This is possibly because I am not understanding something. I'm not familiar with my surrounding. Therefore, my personality and mood changes because of my confusion. And I want to close sharing with you. Of course, we want to be proactive about our health, not only physical, but our brain as well. I am a checklist person, so I encourage you to include brain health, include brain stimulation, and include memory evaluations to your health checklist.
Wow. Wow. Great information. Thank you so much, Valerie. Valerie went over 10 very important points, 10 very important points and things that we get to consider. Things such as where poor judgment, social isolation. There's also vocabulary, as you just saw earlier, and a lot of this has to do with how frequent are these things happening. Social isolation, when you start to see a family or a loved one, a friend, a close family friend, that they're not engaging as they normally would. Those are things that are very concerning. Personality and mood changes, personality and mood swings. These are things that we get to, again, observe. I really love the last portion of what Valerie said. A part of our well being and minding our wellness is also brain health, brain stimulation. So those are things we get to also check on when we're doing our annual wellness check. Those things should also be included. Coming up next, we are going to show you, let's see here. All right, some video clips. We're going to show a few video clips from TV shows like Grey's Anatomy and Still Alice, as well as interviews with caregivers and actor William H. Macy. So that's what we're going to have coming up. A few clips from those TV shows, Grey's Anatomy, Still Alice, as well as an interview with caregivers and actor William H. Macy.
はい。その打ち合わせ今日の1時でしょうが。ずっと待ってるんだけどね。いや。課長、驚かせないでくださいよ。そのお約束でしたら明日ではないでしょうか。次長の都合が悪いからって1日前倒しにしたじゃない。あの時佐伯さん OK だって言ったでしょ。私がですか。
Hey, Chief. About earlier.
It's all taken care of. I checked Adele's head CT myself. It was clean. Her wrist was in a splint, and I'm taking her home now.
Well, I still have some concerns, and if her CT was clean, then I have even more concerns.
Thank you, Meredith, but I assure you Adele is fine.
Chief, she's been getting things very confused.
Meredith, she is fine, and I'm taking her home right now.
Why was she getting Christmas decorations down in February?
Good night, Meredith.
And she said she had just gotten home from work. Didn't she retire?
Meredith.
Chief, something isn't right.
Okay, that's enough. Now, I know what you're implying. And while I appreciate your concern, that's enough. Adele had a scare today. She had a fall. Any number of things could account for her mixing up a couple of details, not the least of which is her being interrogated by you. Now, if something bigger were wrong with my wife, I would know it. You've got Alzheimer's on the brain.
Some of the signs that I was able to identify was, when the person start talking about a topic and then stops and change the topic or don't remember what was talking about. Another of the sign was, the person is like always looking for something that is lost. Is always looking for something. Other of the symptoms were like being afraid that someone might be robbing them, So if you identify any of those symptoms, you can ask, your primary doctor.
We'd like to have a conversation about warning signs. So, Rosie, I'm going to go to you. If you could try to remember the first time, what was the first warning sign now that you look back that you didn't notice then? Or as I like to say, what's the first time mom did something that made you stop and go, that's strange, and you just kept on going? No big deal.
When she mixed up her daily medication by taking the 12 o'clock pill instead of the morning pill. And so I kept calm because I was at work. There was nothing I could do about it then. And when I came home, I went to her home. She was still living by herself. And I just rearranged the pills for her to have. The next day I called her primary care and he explained what happened. And she said, don't panic. The ones she took are fine. She just took them in the reverse order. And I said, what should I do about that, doctor? And she said, just continue. You put them out for her on the weekends, and you just remind her to look for morning, Sunday noon, and Sunday evening.
So it sounds like the first warning sign for you was a mix-up in routine, regular routine. Again, like I said, thank God that it wasn't serious. And I love your reaction, which was, I'm at work, nothing, it's not anything dangerous, it's all good. Another one of the warning signs is struggling with words, trying to find the right, not even necessarily the right word, but a word to describe something. Did you ever see that? And either
constantly, consistently.
Give me an example.
She would be in the midst of having a conversation. You know, doesn't matter what the conversation was, but then she was saying, well, what I said, what was I saying? What do I want to say here? And then she'll say, well, just let me go and I'll come back. I'll come back to it.
It'll get back
but
to
just, yes, but just always struggling to find a word, struggling with which child she's talking to, which grade child. And it's only 3 of us, so it's not like we have a huge family.
I used to jokingly say my mom would start calling us all, and then you know who you are.
You know, yes. Or sweetheart, which one of you? What's your name?
Since I got to jump over here to Rosie, because Rosie's finishing your sentence. And I love that because it shows that there's some commonality. Did you have a similar example where mom wasn't able to remember?
Not in the beginning.
Okay.
Later on, she'll be talking to someone. She says, "Who are you again?" They'll say, or she would say, "But Rosie, so and so hasn't called me in days, and that's not like her." And because she was accustomed to it. And so my cousin would call. She says, "Cynthia, where have you been? You haven't called me." She said, "Yes, mommy." She says, "Well, that daughter of mine, she hides your number and I can't find it. So could you wait, let me write it down again?"
Now this is interesting. And I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, finish. Now, you've just given 2 other warning signs. Forgetting the faces and names of familiar people and getting times and dates lost.
The first time I realized that my dad had problems, I was down they lived in Florida, and in Gainesville, Florida. And I went down there and the dog kept running out because it could get through the fence, a little Chihuahua. And I said, well, Pop, let's fix the fence. And my dad was a magnificent carpenter and taught me everything I know about carpentry. And I still do it to this day. And I said, let's fix this fence. And he was on one end of this long board. And I said, when I get it level, you nail it shut. And I gave him a hammer and nail, and I saw him looking at it and he didn't know how to do it. And that was the first indication I had.
Wow.
Wow.
We heard some really live stories and testimonies from friends and family of early warning signs or just straightforward warning signs. Right now, again, I would love to introduce you to none other than Dr. Silver, Deborah Silver, board certified clinical psychologist and nationally certified school psychologist. Dr. Silver, welcome to Brain Info Live. It is an honor and a pleasure to have you here.
Oh, thank you, Barbara.
Yes.
Thank you for the warm welcome, and thank you for this program has been so instructive. Thank you.
Absolutely. We do have some questions from the audience that we will be posing to you. I see a question is here. Dr. Silver, the question reads, How soon after I notice changes in my loved one's behavior should I speak to their doctor?
Just as quickly as possible. It's good to get the dialogue going. And what we know about now, early intervention, early diagnosis, it's important to identify, are these normal age-related changes, sort of a barometer, a caution light for really grabbing a hold of our health and doing everything we can to maximize it? Or is there some other matter like dementia and possibly Alzheimer's disease?
Got it. Wow, 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 wow. Excellent. Thank you so very much. The second question, okay. Very good. Just so our viewers know that they can also ask questions, and that would be good, where they voted, where you were able to take the poll. You can definitely also place your questions there. That would be great. We want to be able to answer as many questions as we can for you. Dr. Silver is here with us, and we definitely want you to be able to gain as much information by the end of the show. The second question that we have, Dr. Silver, is MCI different from AD? And if you would please remind our viewers who may not be familiar with the acronym MCI, what that actually stands for.
Excellent. Another great question, Barbara. MCI, mild cognitive impairment. And the way I think of those changes, those early warning signals, that they are a caution light. And it doesn't mean that they will go on to be the signal of Alzheimer's disease. It really is a signal. Come talk to us at the Neuropsychiatric Research Center or one of our sites across the United States with Evolution Research Group. It's time to tap into this no-cost service to find out more about your own brain status. All of us, anyone over 50, should be getting what we call a baseline cognitive screening. And it is a first step to really understand what are these changes meaning? Do they mean that I may need to address some health issues that I have? Maybe I have a modifiable risk factor, like maybe I have a thyroid issue that's causing some mental fuzziness, or some changes in my thinking, my speed of recall. Maybe I have a low B12 level. Maybe I have sleep apnea. Maybe there's some other health issue that by changing it, I clear up my thinking, and then I can let go of the stress of, oh, this means that I'm developing a cognitive condition that is Alzheimer's disease. So really a time to find out what it's all about, and put your mind to rest either way, because in the field of brain health and research, we have exciting, exciting news.
Wow, that's excellent. Excellent. Dr. Silva, you and I have spoke about this particular disease, Alzheimer's dementia, and how it affects the brown and Black communities. If you can talk to us about the percentage of African Americans, Hispanic or Latinos that suffer from this disease, and what's the response from community members, from families, as far as going in and being properly diagnosed?
Barbara, this is a really serious issue, and it's one that the Alzheimer's Association very fortunately has come out. I urge everyone to go on their website and read their 2021 report. They have a special focus on communities of color And there are important reasons why African American individuals might back away from research. And that's because they remember history. They remember 1932 until the 1970s, when there were experiments done that did not follow what we now call good clinical practice. That Tuskegee experiments that happened. And there's a level of distrust that now we in Fort Myers, Florida, we're making a special effort to reach out and forge strong relationships with our community partners to acknowledge that, but at the same time to say, look, we learned a lot from the Tuskegee, the horrible tragedy that happened there, and the Nuremberg trials, like what happened to my people, Jewish people, and Seventh-day Adventist, and to the Romani, the Gypsy people, and gay and lesbian community. You know, there are many groups who could back away from research based on what happened to us in history. And yet, what is great about our country, we learn from our mistakes. And those were great, grave mistakes. And I'm here to tell you that I am so proud to be part of a research team that embraces good clinical practice. And we are guided by ethical principles that say, first, we care for the person before us, and we do everything in our power to give them the best opportunity to have health and wellness. And we guide them, we invite them in. And here in Fort Myers, I hope people come to meet us, and we'll have fun, we'll have a good time, and teach you a lot and learn a lot from you, but mainly guide you in what you can do about grabbing a hold of your health, just like you have, Barbara, in all of your health choices that you make.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Silver. That's a very important question, and these are the tough questions. This is a very tough area when we're speaking of Alzheimer's and dementia. So thank you so much for being able to address that in all sincerity. The third question here: with a history of Alzheimer's, is a memory check by the doctor sufficient?
Well, it is a really important step to take, but most of the time when the doctor does the memory check, you know, they also here in Southwest Florida refer them over to the neuropsychiatric research group, because what we do is to meet with them and explore more and personalize their response to their diagnosis, and offer them the opportunity, just like now. What is exciting and what happened over the summer, June, there was the FDA approval of aducanumab, now referred to as Aduhelm. And within a month, in July, Lilly came out with donanemab. And now what, you know, I'd like to let everyone know is we are currently enrolling trials to put these two drugs into a head-to-head competition to see which one works best in clearing these amyloid plaques from the brain. And we know that amyloid plaques are associated with Alzheimer's disease, and maybe it's the first step along a path of treatment. And we've got many more trials going to address some of the other factors that are probably underlying Alzheimer's disease. But if they came in and talked to us, they could avail themselves of treatments that cost about $100,000 at no cost, and find out, get the best customized care tailored to their unique needs in a partnership with their physician, and guided every step of the way in a partnership.
Okay. Excellent. That's excellent. Thank you so much for providing that. I see more questions are coming in, and we just want to thank our viewers. Again, feel free to use the same area where you indicated the questions for the poll. We can also use that for these questions that we are posing to Dr. Sylvie here. The next question I have here: if your mother or father have AD, does that also mean that you will get it? Is this hereditary?
Well, that is a great question too. It's not automatic that you will develop Alzheimer's disease, but it's one of those that should say to each one of us with a history like that, we have to be much more mindful of maintaining our brain health, and that it's even though we may not develop Alzheimer's disease, why not look at the secrets of the blue zone? And what do we know from research? That there are various groups across the world who have adopted certain habits, and that's the time to vigorously grab a hold of those. J. Lou is wonderful in his efforts here to get the word out about exercise. We know exercise prompts neurogenesis, rebuilding of the brain, and that's one powerful thing we can do if we have a family history of Alzheimer's disease. We know having a strong family network and social connection is really important. And today, you and I were sharing our grandchildren's stories and how much, how important they are to us. The Blue Zone folks have strong families. They also have a sense of purpose in their lives and a strong faith-based orientation. They also eat mainly a Mediterranean type diet, mainly plant-based, limited chicken, fish, lots of dark leafy vegetables and fruits and nuts, and looking at olive oil as another. We know that not smoking and limiting alcohol if you do drink is another important way to mitigate any of the health risk there with a genetic vulnerability that you may have inherited. But there is so much that you can do, and it is important. We know that there are certain activities for the brain, learning a new language, learning to play a new instrument, listening to music, loving, living, engaging with life, being part of your community and connected as much as you can with your community. So there is so much to learn. We know chess is another one of these activities that really promotes what we call cognitive reserve, really strengthens the brain in powerful ways. So come in and let's talk more about what you can do personally and optimize that, that percentage of reducing the risk of developing Alzheimer's disease.
Excellent, Dr. Silver. I love those alternatives that you listed out: exercise, social engagement, social enhancement, whether it's learning a new instrument or how to play an instrument, music. I think what I like most about those alternatives, most of them, if not all of them, are accessible and available to each and every one within our own economic or social levels. So I think those are wonderful ways, again, in which we can continue to stimulate and show brain health. I have another question here, Dr. Silver. It says here, if a loved one is exhibiting potential signs of dementia, who should I see first? My regular doctor?
First things first, go to the primary care physician. And if they don't bring up the option of clinical trials, which I would be surprised, because most physicians know that with a question of dementia, clinical trials is the next best step that you can take, that you find out everything you can about the world of research in a partnership with your primary care physician. And so that is the first step. And if they don't bring it up, then you bring it up. What about these clinical trials? Should I be speaking with someone? And, perhaps, in a partnership that's promoted by the consumer ourselves, we can educate others, even our own doctors.
That's wonderful. I think it's so important that we know that we have efficacy, medical or, as we say, health efficacy in building and champion with our care provider as what is best for our health. So being a part of what is, and you can help me here, known as the care team, as to what is best for you in staying and maintaining brain wellness. Another question, and this one is a bit scary. This one is a bit scary for me to even think that someone may be considering this, but it says, why should I want to know if something's wrong since there's nothing I can do about it?
Woo, boy, that
I
that
know.
is excellent. I'm so glad. I mean, it takes my breath away. I'm glad you asked. There's so much that we can do and should be doing, and even with and especially with the diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease, that getting out there, getting active, and becoming a part of the Alzheimer's community. We are a loving, warm, welcoming group of people. Join the Alzheimer's Association here in Fort Myers. Join the Dubin Center, and be a part of the community, because this is just the first step on maintaining your health and wellness. And as people live with Alzheimer's disease, live as well as we possibly can by understanding what are all the things that we can do to optimize our health and our relationships. Help the families too, the caregivers, be there and be supportive and connected to a community that can guide and really lift up everyone in the family. They will give you so many great ideas about how to promote the best possible relationships within your family when there's a person living with Alzheimer's disease. That we can really do a lot by learning from folks who have gone through this, and they have so many pearls of wisdom to share with us.
Wow, thank you once again. I tell you, this question, and we know how scary this can be for many families, especially when you may not have the resources. But as you stated, being engaged in the Alzheimer's dementia community, reaching out, finding what resources are available to you. Again, some of the methods and some of the steps to prevention or just overall wellness. Those are available, accessible. A lot of those don't cost anything. We saw John Lewis with those fun and engaging exercises. You talked about a diet, how maintaining a diet, leafy green vegetables, fish, and lean chicken. And a lot of people are doing these things already. So if you know someone who's not, again, this is part of the reaching out into our communities and just making this information so accessible. And again, it's invaluable. So thank you so much, Dr. Silver.
Barbara, I'm glad you brought up the low cost, no cost. There are so many ways to reduce costs, and even growing your own great vegetables and fruits. I know some of the folks I've talked to have really been inspired to do just that, and have planted all kinds of beautiful vegetables and fruits. And it's all designed, and being connected to nature is another way to lift the spirits and help families when people are living with Alzheimer's disease. Thank you for that reminder. Yes.
Thank you. It is a win-win. Being able to connect with nature, and then also how you've connected with nature and now taking that into your body. So it is a total win-win. Dr. Silver, we thank you so very much. And again, for being a part of the very first launch, Brain Info Live in Florida. Woo! We're excited for that. We're grateful to the viewers for being able to give us these wonderful questions, in which I'm sure many of us, this is helping many of us. So thank you so much, Dr. Silver. Any closing remarks at this point?
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you. Very informative and exciting. Thanks for sharing all the great news.
Thank you. All right. This is wonderful. I hope that everyone is gaining and you are learning as much as I am. Dr. Silver is incredible. John Lewis, Valerie Matos, incredible information. Again, accessible information. I know at the end we're going to post some resources that you can be able to contact and reach out to other agencies in the community. Right now, we are going back to the poll. We opened up with the poll and we kind of had it like a 50-50 answer. And we want to make sure that we are answering each and every question for you as accurately as possible. So the poll read in the beginning of the show, the question was, what is a sign of normal aging and not NOT, not of Alzheimer's? A, asking the same questions repeatedly. Where's my keys? Where's my keys? But where's my keys? B, trouble recalling the names of familiar people. John? Is that John? Oh, that's Jack. C, not being able to think as quickly when you were younger. Not being as sharp or feeling that you're not responding as quick. Getting lost in your own neighborhood. Showing up at your neighbor's house, opening the door, walking into the room that you think is yours. All right. So once again, what is the sign of normal aging and not of Alzheimer's? We want to put you all at ease here. Asking the same question repeatedly. Trouble recalling the names of familiar people, family members, your neighbors. Not being able to think as quickly as when you were younger. And showing up to your neighbor's house, going into the kitchen and starting to make a sandwich. Okay? So we want to know, is it A, B, C, or D? All right. I have a feeling most of you probably have gotten this correctly. And the answer is C. 100% C. Not being able to think as quickly as when you were younger. What is the sign of normal aging and not of Alzheimer's? Not being able to think as when you were younger. Everyone, absolutely everyone answered it correctly. Wow. Again, I certainly hope that each and every one of you, I hope that this was informative, engaging. We have some information that we want to share with all of you. These are resources that will be emailed to everyone who signed up for today's program. If you have not signed up, you will be able to do so. Right now on the screen, you can see Brain Health and Dementia Resource. These are national programs or national institutions that can help you. The National Institute of Health, NIH, www.alzheimers.gov, National Institute on Aging, NIA, ADR Center, Alzheimer's Disease Education and Referral Center, the Adore web portal, Alzheimer's and Dementia Outreach, Recruitment, and Engagement Resources. Bright Focus Foundation, www.brightfocus.org. Alzheimer's Association, www.alz.org. And then there is Brain Guide, and I can't see all of my screen here. There's Brain Guide by Us Against Alzheimer's. These are resources where you can reach out, find what programs are directly in your area. We also have the Florida Department of Elder Affairs, DOEA, Dementia Friendly America -Florida. We have the Memory Cafes, www.memorycafedirectory.com, Memory Cafes in Florida. There's also, again, the Alzheimer's Association, Florida Gulf Coast Chapter, Alzheimer's and Dementia Resource Center, ADRC. That's adrccares.org. We have the Alzheimer's Association Southeast Florida chapter. We have the Area Agency on Aging of Palm Beach / Treasure Coast. There's also the Area Agency on Aging of Broward County. Again, if you registered, once you registered for this programming today, we will be able to email all of that information to you, all those great resources. If you were not able to sign up and you would like to, grab a pen and you can write this down, bit.ly/BIL sign up. Again, if you are interested in receiving this information, whether it's for yourself, a family member, a community member, to have this information readily available, we want to have this emailed out to you. You can sign up and join the mailing list. Join Brain Info Live mailing list, bit.ly/BIL sign up. Once again, this has been the kickoff. This was the launch, and we want to thank all those who have launched with us. We want to thank Dr. Deborah Silver. We want to thank the fitness guru, John Lewis. Those exercises got me pumped and going first thing in the morning. What more can you ask? And then we also want to thank Valerie R. Crespo Matas, and most of all, you, the viewers, for joining us and making this launch successful right here in Florida. Again, my name is Barbara Chandler, and it has been my pleasure. Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you join us again.